Welcome to Mayhem. My name's Joe, and welcome to my very first Dollar Tree Valentine DIY project. Today I'm going to be making a sign. I'm calling it Valentine's because it's going to have hearts and pink, and I'm using some Valentine signs from the Dollar Tree. But it's not going to be your typical Valentine sign, because this you're going to be able to use any time of the year. You'll be able to keep it up. It's not going to say anything about Valentine's. It's not going to say love. It's just going to be a sweet little heart sign that you could use all year long. If this is your first time to my channel, please look down below and click on that subscribe button. And right beside that, if you'll just tap on that bell, that'll let you be notified each and every time that I upload a video. So now I'm going to share with you the things that I'm going to be using on this DIY project today. Hopefully I've got everything laid out. But as you know, with crafting, you may go into something with one thought in your mind as to how you're going to do your project, and then as it goes along, things just kind of change sometimes. So if I do decide to change some things, I'll make sure that I have all the things used in this video today linked down at the bottom below the video. And as I'm looking around, I just realized that there were a couple things that I don't have here laid out. So give me just a second to get that, and I'll be right back. I've got the main part hidden under here. So what I'm going to be using today, I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint in white. I'm going to be using this Waverly, actually this one's not chalk, this is semi-gloss acrylic. I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint in truffle. I'm going to be using this art glitter glue. I think I got this off Amazon. I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video. Need a pair of scissors. Need sandpaper or a sanding block. I'm going to use this screwdriver. You need some of these large craft sticks, some jute or twine or ribbon of your choice, whatever you want to use. I may be using these foam tape squares. If you can see that, it's kind of glaring. And this is to make it look a little 3D. One of the hearts is going to be laying on top of the other one. So I might need to use this to pop that bottom heart up instead of just gluing it straight down on the board. I've got my handy dandy silicone finger protectors for when I'm using my hot glue gun. I got these off Amazon. I'll link them below. I'm going to be using my heat gun. A couple paint brushes. I'm not really sure which ones I'm going to use yet. You'll need a pencil. I've got my paper plates to pour my paint out on. 2 of these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. You'll need 2 pieces of scrapbooking paper or cardstock. This is pretty thick. I got this in a pack. I think it came from Michael's a couple years ago. Had that in my stash. And then you'll need 2 of these love signs from the Dollar Tree. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my screwdriver and pop these galvanized hearts off. As you can see, came off very easy. All the glue is still stuck to the sign, so I'll have to get that off. But at least it didn't rip the sign. Maybe this one will come off just as easy, but it's not looking like it's going to. I'm trying not to bend these hearts because I want to use them in another project. Oh. So it looks like on this one, it's taking a little bit off of the sign, but that's okay because I'm going to sand this down. So I've got my 2 hearts that I can use on another project. Put those to the side. I'm just going to try to get this glue off. Also, one thing I didn't mention was you'll need some paper towels handy in case you need to wipe your hands off or wipe up some paint. Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So let me get this glue off this one. And yeah, the glue takes the paint off the sign, but that's okay because I'm going to paint it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with that chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the whole front of each sign with that truffle chalk paint. Just a little bit more. Okay. Got that off. I'm going to remove the ribbon hangers that's already on there because I'm not going to use that. Actually, if I can get them untied, I'll save it because I might use it for something later, but I don't have any nails, so I don't know if I can get that untied or not. Well, we'll just cut it right there, and I might be able to use part of it. Whoops. Might be able to use part of that. Just take this one off. And set all that to the side. Alright, so I'm just going to take my sanding block. Just going to sand that down real good. I'm not going to worry about doing a whole bunch of sanding to get that red love off. Since I'm painting the whole thing with the truffle, it should cover that pretty good. I'm just trying to get this smoother, just in case my thing's falling off the table. Just in case my hearts don't cover that portion, you won't see the roughness of it. Looks like I've got a little bit of glue left right there. Sorry about that horrible sound. It's like there's glue down in that. There's glue down inside of the little indentation there that makes it look like shiplap, if that's what you call it. I guess it is. Just trying to get that out of there. Oh. Just wipe that off. Yeah, I'm just going to pour me out some paint here and cover these signs with this truffle chalk paint. I'm going to make sure it's mixed up real good. I haven't even opened this one yet. And I'm just using this foam brush to do this. And like I said, this should cover pretty good. And I'm just putting this on here, and then I'm going to paint that white over it, and then I'm going to distress it some so that you can see the lines in the board. I want them to be a brown, and then I'm going to distress the white paint off so you can see some brown coming through the white. So I need to make sure that I get all the way down in the lines. And it's covering pretty good, but honestly, I may have to do another coat of brown. I'm still seeing a little bit of the red shining through, which that won't be a problem. You know what? I think it'll be alright. Once I put the white on, I think it'll be covered pretty good. So I'm probably just going to do one coat of the brown. Make sure to get the edges too. Move my glue gun out of the way. I really like this Waverly chalk paint. I went to Walmart, it's been a while ago, a couple years ago probably, and bought almost every color they had. But I think most of it was that Waverly acrylic instead of the chalk paint. But they've got so many pretty colors. They're so soft. It's like soft colors. I don't know how to describe it, but I really, really like it. And this chalk paint covers pretty good. I mean, pretty good coverage. And it doesn't, I didn't have hardly any, I mean, maybe a quarter size. I may have squirted out about a quarter size on there. And I've done both of these signs. Alright, so right now I'm just looking here. It's so funny because I'm looking at this one right here, and even though that whole heart wasn't glued down, which I don't know, I don't think you can see it, but I can totally see that whole heart shape ghosting right there. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not seeing the whole heart shape on this one, but I'm definitely seeing that whole heart shape right there. All right, I'm going to let these dry, and I'll come back after they're dry for the next step. I'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're back. I actually took my blow dryer and dried these off just a little bit. There might be a little place right there that's not totally dry. But now I'm just going to take the Waverly White, and this is the High Performance Semi-Gloss Acrylic. And I'm going to paint over this. I'm going to try to not get it down in the grooves where the brown is. But if I do get it down in there, I'm just going to take a thin brush then and go back in with some brown to accentuate the grooves in the wood. I'm going to be using this. It's kind of the bristles are very chunky. They're very not even. And so I'm going to use this the best I can to try to avoid getting down inside the little grooves in the sign. I want to get a pretty good coverage, but it doesn't have to be totally covered because I'm going to be scrubbing some of this off. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we've got a little bit different view here than just a second ago. And that's just because I got a phone call when I was working on this, actually 2 days ago. Got a phone call, got interrupted, came back to try to finish the tutorial, and noticed after I got this painted, I looked up and I wasn't recording. So I decided to call it a day that day and come back again another day. But as you can see, what I did was I took this brush and I just went over everything with the white Waverly acrylic paint. And as you can also see, I did not manage to stay out of the lines. So then I came back in with this small brush and was trying to paint the lines in, and I don't know, I may be the only one, but once I get taken away out of my crafting zone, I might as well just stop because it's just not going to be pretty. And so I was trying to rush and get this done because I was trying to get the video done before, you know, having to go on with my day. And so got a little bit wonky down here, didn't even hit the line right there, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm just going to leave it just like that. And so now I'm going to take up trying to use this thin brush and going in these lines. I think part of my issue is I need to be going side to side instead of up and down. So I'm going to rearrange this just a little bit and try to get these lines painted in. Then I'm going to dry everything with my blow dryer, and then we'll continue and hopefully get this done today. But as I mentioned earlier, you know, sometimes after you think about a project, it takes on a different twist. So I have added a couple items that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this Color Box pigment brush pad. Use it for scrapbooking. I think I'm going to use this to go around the edge of the hearts that will do two things. It will color the edge of the wood on the heart, and it's also going to allow me to distress the paper once it's on the heart. I just feel like it needs to be distressed. So I'm going to use that for that. And then I did decide that I was going to put a verse or some verbiage on the hearts. And so it's going to say, bind my wondering heart to thee on the hearts. And that's a Bible verse, but I guess that could also go for maybe somebody's having a hard time in their relationship. Maybe they're wanting to be bound more to their significant other, whether it's their spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, you know. So I'm not putting the verse on here, the verse number. I'm just putting these words on here. I saw it actually as I was scrolling through Facebook, and it just jumped out at me, and I thought, you know, that's what I need to put on the plaque or the sign that I'm making. So I'm going to do that. I cut this out using my Cameo 3. Yeah, Cameo 3. The Wandering Heart font is very thin. I cut this out on matte black adhesive vinyl. Honestly, I do not remember the name of this font, but I'll look it up and put it in the description. This is just agency, might be agency bold. I'll check that too and put that in the video description. So let's get not started, but let's resume, I guess. So I'm going to take some of my truffle color Waverly chalk paint and do my best to try to get these lines as straight on there as I can. And then I think I'm still going to take some sandpaper and distress this some. And to me, I like the streaky way that this looks. It makes me think of wood. Just, you know, whitewashed wood. So I'm happy with that. And I may even come back with a little of the white and kind of soften these lines down a little bit. Ooh, that was messy. So it's not going to take that much. I could probably get enough off that lid. Softly. I don't know. Do not know what's going on with this bottle. Anyway, I'm going to try to get some lines in here. And you'll have to excuse me because I have shaky hands. My grandkids make fun of me all the time, but my granddaughter's 13 and she gets shaky too. And I think usually it's the more I try to concentrate on something, the shakier I get. So like right there, I got really wide, then really skinny. I could do this with a marker, but I really thought that I'd probably have a worse time with a marker. Like if I'm painting fingernails, whether it's mine or my granddaughter's or... yeah, it's bad if I start thinking about it too much. It may be a subconscious thing. I don't know. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta really be focused or I gotta be really tedious. And so then it panics me and then I start shaking. Oops. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just age. Although I wouldn't consider myself to be that old. I'm in my mid-50s. Not that old. Alright, so I'm going to be good with that. Ooh. not being very coordinated. Scoops that one over. I'm going to turn this around so I don't mess around and get one of them right side up and one of them upside down where the holes are. I didn't fill those holes in because I'm going to be wrapping some jute around, and so I didn't feel like it was necessary to cover those holes up. You could take your glue gun and fill it with glue before you paint. Like there are 2 holes on each side. I could fill in like the center 2 so I could still have the 2 outer 2 to hang it with, which I am going to use the 2 outer 2 to hang it with. But this is a rustic wooden sign. These boards could have come off of an old barn that got torn down, and they really did have nail holes in the end of them. So I'm going to go with that, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And so if they see the hole, it's just a nail hole from days gone by. And I also I'm having a hard time seeing that line. Y'all are probably like, we can see the line from over here. You're not even on it. It'll be alright. My glasses are on top of my head because usually I see better close up without them. But I think it's the angle that I'm having to, it's like my brush handle is covering and I can't see where I'm going, if that even makes sense. It's the angle of my brush that's preventing me from seeing where the line in the wood is. Anyway, I'm sure y'all are tired of hearing me. Wow, wow, wow. This is the Joe Whiny show today for some reason. I don't really know why, but we're going to get back on the positive edge. Ooh, look, I'm almost done with this one. And it's not going to take but a second to blow dry this dry. I mean, it's going on there so light I may not even have to. By the time I get done sanding the other one may be dry already. Ooh, that was a lot of paint right there. Alright then, I'm calling that good. Calling that good. I didn't bring any water in here to wipe that brush out. Alright, I'll put this over here. And this one over here. Yeah, I really feel like that's dry and I can probably sand a little bit. So let's see, I'm gonna try to get some of the edges, but I'm thinking that acrylic paint's not really wanting to scuff up that much. Shaking everything on the table. Let me get a different piece of sandpaper and see what that does. Some 220 grit sandpaper. Maybe that'll rough it up a little bit more. Not so much. And then getting a little bit on the edges. But as far as doing much damage to the paint itself. Not so much. Got a little bit. A little bit. A little bit on this one. I don't know why one edge seems to be doing better than the rest of it. Alright, didn't even have to wait very long for that to dry. So, what I'm going to do now is, woo, we are going to use our glue gun and some the big popsicle sticks, and glue this thing together. Okay, so I straightened up just a little bit while I was waiting on the heat gun to get warmed up. So we're going to use the large craft sticks. Got these from Walmart. They have craft sticks at the Dollar Tree, but I'm not sure if they have any that's this large. These are pretty. They say these are super jumbo craft sticks, and there are 45 in there. So now I have to figure out. I keep going back and forth about this. I don't know if I want to go this way with this. Like that. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the top and the bottom, and then in between. So let's make sure they're together and even at the bottom. Stick that on there. And the top. Ooh, I might end up putting two more going sideways. I think that'll almost close the gap up. Ooh, or maybe one more. I didn't judge that very good, did I? Put one more up here, reinforce the top. And, I'm crazy. I got my little glue things from Hobby Lobby to put on my fingers, and look, I didn't even use them. But, I mean, that's not really anything that's gonna come through and burn my hands. So, I'm trying to work around my tripod right there. Alright, let's put him right there. So now we've got that together. Okay, so next thing is I'm going to cover my hearts with my paper. I'm going to try to just take this out. I might use that jute for something else. It's got a really good end on it to go through the hole. So, and because I'm covering these hearts with paper, it doesn't matter that they have holes in them. So let me put this out of the way. And what I'm going to do is just trace the heart on the back side of the paper. But now let me look at this, because I want this to be going up like that. I'm going to trace this down here in this corner. Let's see if my heart needs to go like this. Trace it with a pencil and then cut it out with the scissors. And do the same thing for the other paper. I wish I could remember when I got this paper. Seems like I got it at Michael's, and it had to have been a couple years ago. There's not a Michael's in the town I live in. I live in a small town in Alabama. And so we have to drive half hour, 45 minutes to get to a Michael's, a Sam's, a Costco. Let's see, what else? Although, our little town has grown a lot in the last, I don't know, I'm going to say 10 years. And it's growing, and we're getting new things every day, but, well, maybe not every day. Ooh, let's see, I'm going to go this way. Oh, sorry, I'm standing up, so I didn't realize that I was out of focus, or out of frame. Ooh, I'm not good at cutting this direction. We do have a Hobby Lobby in town. I'm glad of that. I like Hobby Lobby. My sister actually works at Hobby Lobby, and that was always her dream job, because before our Hobby Lobby came to town, we had to drive the 30 minutes to get to a Hobby Lobby. And so she was so excited when she found out Hobby Lobby was coming to town. And she had always worked in a bakery at a grocery store. She's a cake decorator, and she makes some awesome cakes. She makes a lot of wedding cakes, you know, for people, and birthday cakes and all that. But anyway, she hadn't been working. The grocery store that she worked at actually closed. And she hadn't been working, and so when Hobby Lobby came, she was ecstatic that Hobby Lobby was coming, because I'm not kidding. Like, we would say, okay, we're going to Hobby Lobby, and she'd be like, okay, don't let me forget. When we get there, I need to look for this, 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 that, this, and that. And she would get in there, and she would never write it down. She would expect me to remember it. Well, that's never a good thing. My memory is not that great. Sorry, I keep getting closer and closer to me so I can see what I'm doing and getting out of frame. I apologize. I may just fast forward through that part. I don't know. Anyway, she would always be so excited, and she'd just be giddy when we got there, and she'd forget what all she wanted. And then on the drive home, she'd be like, oh, I forgot I was going to look for this. I forgot I was going to look for that. I forgot I needed this. Well, write it down next time, sister. Write it down next time. Alright. I almost sat on this. That would not have been good. So let me put this back up here. And now I'm going to glue my paper to my hearts. And I'm going to be using this art glitter glue. Got this off Amazon. You can see it. This is the best paper crafting glue you can get. Just saying. And, whoops, taking the whole lid off instead of just the top. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot, and it bonds fast. So, just gonna go around. Just put some squiggles in there. Over we go. Yes. Looks good. I love that paper. Love the paper. Love it. Right, so there's one. And two. And you don't want to let your lid stay off of this. And it actually comes with a little, like a little pin thing to stick down in there to keep that from getting clogged up. And so if you're going to be using it for a while, you don't have to put the lid on every time. You can stick that little pin down in there. But you don't want to just leave it with the lid off for very long, because it'll dry out fast and that wouldn't be good. All right. Got that one on there. Now let's look at these from the back. Looks pretty good. I was thinking just a minute ago though, I traced the same heart for both of them, and that probably wasn't a real smart thing to do, because what if they weren't the same size? So, looks good to me. When you look at it from the back, I don't know, it's a little, of course my cutting skills are not the best. So I'm going to go in here and see if I can try to clean this up just a little bit. It's a little bit. I don't have my fussy cut scissors over here. I just have my, that might not have been a good idea. Alright, I'm good with that. And good with the other. Now, I'm just going to take my little color box pigment brush pad and go around the edges. And that's going to color the edge. It's also getting just a little bit around the edge of the paper. You can see that. And then I'm actually going to go up on top of the paper just a little bit. Too. I picked this one because it was little. I figured it would work. Oh, and I didn't tell you, I think this color is chestnut. So then I'm just going to go on top just a little bit and just distress it a little. Just random. You know, I'm like side to side and up and down. Just getting a little color around the, I just felt like it needed some color around the edge because of the look of the background. So, giving it a little bit of color around the edge. Yep, I like that. Much better. Now I'm going to do the other one. A little bit of air right there. Ooh, and a little bit of glue. I may not have run my glue close enough to the edge, but I didn't want it seeping out from underneath it. Alright, so same thing here. We're going to go around the edge first. Get some color on the edge of the heart. Whoops, that's never good. Just throw it in the floor. And then we're just going to go just around the edge a little bit. And I'm kind of just going back and forth. Oh, I keep scooching over, getting out of frame. Alright, so there's that one. Yeah, I really like the way that looks with the different color on the edge. And you know, on this one, I may just real lightly, just random over the top of this one a little bit. Just to bring some of that color in there where this paper is so light. Yeah, I like that. All right. Next step is going to be gluing the hearts down, and as I've been thinking about it, I think I'm going to put them, I want them hanging over the edge just a little bit on each side, and yet I want them on top of each other. So, let's see. That looks pretty even from the top to the bottom. They look like they're hanging over about the same amount off the edge on each one. So I think I'm good with that right there. I'm just getting a little stick of hot glue in my glue gun. Though I may not need it. I'll get it ready anyway. Alright, so let me think about this. And just get some hot glue all over the back of that heart. And yes, I love to use some hot glue. You know, little do a little good, a lot do a lot of good. So, thinking about right there, and I probably ran that over the edge of that too. It'll be alright. don't need to go all the way to the edge on that one. And I was going to use those, the foam mounting tape to pop this one up, but I changed my mind on that. But I'll probably use this in coming up tutorials. Look how cute that is. I like it. Okay, now, get this out of the way. Off. Now to place my words. So I've got my words on my transfer tape, so I need to cut them apart so that I can place them where I need them to be. And I'm using the Cricut transfer tape that's not very sticky because I didn't want to run a risk of messing that paper up. And I'm hoping that it's all going to be okay. I didn't want to Mod Podge this. I didn't feel like I needed to. But I didn't want to see it on the paper. I just wanted to see the paper. So if that makes any sense. I just didn't want to, before I stick this down, I'm going to try to lay it out. Trying to get some of the excess. Tape off there. See, all of that's going that way. I had it laid out earlier where it was not all going sideways like that. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. Seems like I had the words going straight. Yeah. You know, it's all just part of the process. I had it all laid out in my head and actually on my computer, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks different. Like, I feel like it needs to be going like that. Alright, that's the layout that I'm going for, right there. Use my little squeegee to make sure I pick everything up. Whoops. Whoops. You always lose the little pieces. Since I'm working on paper, I'm just doing it really easy. This one, I've got a little bit of the tape. So that, it's called the hinge method. If you get it where you want it, you push down the tape, then you peel the back side off. You peel the, whoops, it came up. Ah. Hold on. It's because I've got some sticking up there. With the hinge method, you put the tape down. Then typically, well, I didn't do this. Make it stick to the transfer tape. Take it off the carrier sheet. And because you have the tape already stuck to the heart, except for this one, I've got it sticking up too. I've got a piece sticking up. But you can pull the backing off, and it keeps it in place where you want your word to be. That's called the hinge method. At some point in time, maybe I'll do a, whoops, I ripped the end of the G off. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on that. Or maybe not, because this is not. You got to be careful and be very diligent when you're working with thin fonts like this. And make sure you get it pressed down good. I'm trying not to press real hard on this because I don't want it attaching itself. I don't want the transfer tape pulling up the paper. And we're going to go here with this one. So I've got more tape stuck down here at the bottom. So I'm going to pull the top up till I can pull the transfer sheet out. It's still stuck right where I had it. I'll go ahead and do this time. Maybe that'll be okay. This is not thin paper. It's paper, but honestly, it seems more like cardstock. I know it's not cardstock, but it's really thick paper, so. Not having any issue with it not having Mod Podge on it. And same thing here. I had extra tape, so I'm doing the hinge method. I've also got it at the bottom. Go ahead and pull it up from the bottom, keeping the top attached so it doesn't move from where I wanted it. And then just squeegee it down. And again, I'm using the really light tack Cricut transfer tape. Alright, that looks cute. Alright, so the only thing I have left to do now, I want to, oh, you know, I do need my, I was done with my glue gun, but I wasn't. So I'm going to take some jute and I'm going to wrap some jute around the top and around the bottom, and then I have to place the jute for the hanger through the holes. So now I get to use my fingertip protectors, which I hope they work as good as I think they should. They seem a little bit big for my fingers. There were 3 sizes. They came in a pack that had, oh, here it is. They come in a pack that has 4 colors. There's 3 of each one in there. But that one, I thought that one was going to be too little for my index finger. I don't know. We'll just have to play with it. It may be that I need that one and this one instead of these 2. But anyway, it's supposed to keep you from getting burnt with the hot glue, so we're fixing to find out. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back. And put my jute in it. Ooh, I don't know how this is going to work. I have to be up in the air with it. And then, so it's on the back. And I'm just going to go around the board a couple times. And like I said, I'm going to try to cover up a little bit of those two holes. But, I mean, it may not want to cover it up. I don't know. I have a thought in my head about what I want this to look like, but so I went over the one center one, then I went over the other one, and now I think I'm going to come back this way, back over that one, and then around, and then under. So right now it looks like that, and I'm going to glue it on the back, on the opposite side of where I glued it the first time. So that's it right there. Just going to put some underneath and on top. Let me tap, tap, tap it down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about those. Which, I mean, you could feel a little warm, but it wasn't. Not hot. So yeah, they do the trick. So if you have issues, if you're afraid of getting burnt, if you do get burnt, you need these. Yep. That's dry already. I'm going to give that a second. So that's what the top looks like. Isn't that cute? I like it. And goes across that hole, goes across that hole. I'm good with that. I'm going to use this hole and this hole to actually hang it from. I'm going to run a couple pieces around the bottom. So do the same thing. Put a little hot glue there. Start my jute. And whoops, that didn't work out. Ah, didn't give it enough time. Try that again. Stick him back in there. Stick him back in there. Sometimes you can't rush this hot glue. And my patience aren't very good. Alright, so now we're just going to go around the bottom a couple times. Maybe 3. Yep, I like that. Well, I'm going the wrong direction. I like that. We're going to turn it over. Oops, I lost my finger thing. And put some hot glue. And mash it down. Let that dry for a second. I'm a messy crafter. I always have been. And I'm not graceful either. So I'm messy and not graceful. But I usually manage to get stuff done. Alright, now what I'm going to do is run a piece of this jute from the front to the back. I've got something going on right there. Well, can't see the hole. I apologize, it's off frame. Alright. So I got the jute from the front to the back. I'm just going to, first of all, I'm going to take these off. I'm going to make several knots so that it's a big knot and it won't go through that opening. Hopefully that will do it. Yep. So I just tied it and tied it and tied it so that it made a knot that wouldn't go through. Now, whoops, I need another glue stick. I'm going to run some glue around that so that it doesn't slip through. And I'm horrible about using the end of my glue gun to like move the glue around and mash it around, and I know I probably shouldn't do that, but I clean it off when I get done. So there's that. Then I got to figure out how long I want my string, and I got to figure out how much string it's going to take to make another knot. So I'm going to cut it off about here. Right in the fat part. Maybe I'll cut it off below the fat part so I'll have something to feed through the hole. You know, sometimes that jute is narrow, but then you get that big wide piece in there because it's just kind of random. So I'm taking this from the front through to the back. And then I'm just going to start tying knots, and this should work perfectly with that little fat piece being right there. That's one knot. Look, it's almost big enough right now to not have to worry about. So yeah, twice. I think that'll be good. Yep, that's not going through. So I'm going to put some glue around that. Can turn that off now. I'm going to let that dry. My hanger's a little long right there. Let's see. What if I make a couple knots in that and kind of shorten that down some. Alright, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll come back with the finished project. Alright, so there we have the finished product. I think it looks cute. Let me zoom in just a little so you can see some more detail. I like the jute wrapped around the top. I love the edge of the hearts where it looks like it's weathered. I like it. I think it makes a cute addition. And that doesn't have to be just for Valentine's. Even though this is my very first Valentine's Dollar Tree DIY, You could absolutely just leave this up all year long. It doesn't have to be just for Valentine's Day. So thank you for watching, everybody. If this is your first time to my channel, please click the subscribe button down below so you can see when I have more videos. Also, if you'll hit that bell notification, you'll get notified every time I post a new video. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That'll help other people be able to see this video, and it'll help my channel. Please come back often. I'll be uploading more DIY videos, more Dollar Tree hauls, and this is mayhem, so you never know what kind of videos, what kind of crafts that I'll be doing. Everybody have a good night. Bye now.